Okay, in this video, I want to talk about some of the chemistry mixture problems that we might face in our algebra class. And the first example is what quantity of 80% solution must be mixed with a 30% solution to produce 300 milliliters of a 50% solution. Okay, now that might sound like a lot, but I want to break it down into just bite-sized pieces here. So let's say we have some bottle A, bottle B. If we add them, we want that to equal the total, okay? Now this is the total. This is the total amount, and this is the total strength. The total amount is 300 milliliters. The total volume, the total volume is 300 milliliters. The total strength is 50%. And so that's kind of the confusing thing, is the strength, but I think we can get through it. So we're asked what quantity of the 80% solution must we mix with a 30% solution to equal 300 milliliters at 50%. All right, well, with an 80% solution, that's like 0.8, right? 80% per 100, 80 divided by 100 is 0.8. The 30% solution, okay, well, that's going to be 0.3, okay? Percent, 30 divided by 100 is 0.3. Now we have A plus B equals the 30%. The total is going to be 0.5 times 300, okay? Now I'm going to turn this into an equation that we can solve, and so we have 0.8, and they want to know how much of the 80% solution we're that we added, so that will be my variable x. Then I'm going to add 0.3, and here comes the first confusing thing. So to make it a single variable, if I add them together, it has to equal 300 milliliters. So I'm going to say that B equals the total minus however much I just added of this x. Okay, so that would be the B there. This is A, this is B. Now the total is a 50% solution, and it totals 300. All right. Now, once you've set up this this equation with a single variable, you can then solve it and find how much x will be to be able to solve for it. Now, I'm going to pause, fill it out just for time's sake, and then come right back. Okay, I filled out the algebra, and now I can see through those steps that x must be equal to 120. Well, that means that it's 120 milliliters of the 80% solution. That's what I just solved for. So that's how you can set it up, and that's how you can solve it. Okay, again, most students don't have a problem with actually doing solving the equation. It's usually setting up the problem. So let's talk about this next problem here. What quantity of a 65% solution must be mixed with a 29% solution to produce 2,412 milliliters of a 36% solution? Again, I'm going to think of this as A, this is B, and this is the total. If you add them, it has to equal the total. The 65% can be 0.65, the 29% can be 0.29, and if you add those together, it has to equal the total. Again, the total will be 0.36 times 2412, okay? So let's set that equation up. 0.65x, because they're asking how much of that percent or that solution am I adding, plus 0.29. The total is 2412, and it has to add to that, so I can say the total minus x is how much B is equal to, and this equals to 0.36 24112. Okay, that is your single variable equation that you can solve and find out how much of that solution that you need to add. Okay, again, I'm going to pause this, fill out the algebraic steps, and then we can talk about the result. Okay, I have filled out the algebraic steps, and I found 469 is what x has to equal. So that is how much of the 65% acidic solution must be mixed with the 29% solution to equal 2,412 milliliters of the 36% solution. Okay, but it's really all about, can you set up that equation? And that is certainly the hardest part. All right, for my last example of these chemistry type problems, how many cups of grapefruit juice must be added to 60 cups of punch that is 2% grapefruit juice to obtain punch that is 10% grapefruit juice? This one is different than the other two problems we just did because, well, first let's identify this is a solution. We have A, and then we have B, and then there's the total. So if we add those, it has to equal the total. One thing that's different is this is grapefruit juice. They don't tell us the strength of the grapefruit juice. So I guess we just have to assume something about it, and that is it's 100% grapefruit juice. Okay, so it didn't have like 80% grapefruit juice. It's 100%. With this B solution here, we have 60 cups and it's 2%. Okay, we actually know everything about B. This time we know everything, so it's 0.02 times 60 cups. So usually we know everything about the total, and then this time we know everything about the other solution. Now the total is 10%, that's given, but we're not told the total amount. Okay, in the previous questions, we were told what is the total amount of solution, or the total mixture, and this time we're not, so we have to somehow come up with that ourselves. And what's going on is it's the grapefruit juice plus the 60 cups is the total solution. So it's the 60 cups plus however much of that grapefruit juice we added. So I think we're ready for our equation. I'm going to let A be x there because that's the variable. The 100% is just a 1, so I just have 1x plus 0.02 times 60 equals 0.1 times 60 plus x. There's my single variable equation. I can now start doing the algebra and solving for that. I'm going to pause and fill out all of the algebraic steps, and then I'll be back and we'll talk about the result. Okay, I filled out the algebraic steps here. So I distributed and then moved the variable and the constants around to solve, and I found 5.333 repeating. Chances are, if you have a different problem but similar, you'll also have a repeating number. So you have to, at some point, decide where you're going to round. I would round to the thousandths or maybe even 10,000ths place, and that should work for you. But yeah, so this is telling us how much grapefruit juice that we are going to add to that 60 cups to obtain this particular strength. So we were trying to reach a 10% total. So I guess I'm saying that in the end we'll have like 65 point and a third cups total to obtain that 10% solution. That's how much we need to do it. Okay, so I hope that helps with your chemistry problems. These are problems that always give algebra students trouble. So I hope that helps. Please reach out if you're still struggling, and I will see you in the next video.